you have to think simultaneously about different profiles of caregivers for older adults. Those caregivers may either be 30-year-olds or those in their 70s and 80s. You must realize that there will no longer be an age of full retirement, but that there will be a great repurposing instead. Most vitally, you have to break your long-held beliefs of what it means when you hear that someone is 82 years old. Even within a single age range, you will find marvelous diversity and huge new opportunities. As I was in the middle of writing this book, the COVID-19 pandemic overtook our communities, our healthcare system, our educational system, our work, our families, and the rest of our lives. Much of the optimism I exude in the book is based on starting this project before the pandemic, when the idea that a virus would shift demographics wasn't even a thought. Then, life expectancy was shortened in 2020, in part because certain important public health measures were initially delayed. COVID-19 infections were the third leading cause of death in the United States in 2020, and at the end of 2021, over 800,000 deaths have occurred, the vast majority among those over 65. It will continue to affect our story until vaccination rates achieve the levels similar to those achieved with the polio vaccine. Meanwhile, we cannot know how long COVID-19 will be in our communities, when the pandemic will end, or when we will feel the same sense of normal that defined our pre-pandemic lifestyles. It was predominantly public health measures that enabled us to realize the opportunity to live to 100. It will be a continued devotion to public health that will get us past the pandemic, provided we adhere to public health recommendations and the longevity prescription that I advocate for in this book: purpose, wellness, and community. In spite of its true awfulness, COVID-19 has been a catalyst for the changes needed. The pandemic has forced us to re-examine everything in a way that we in the longevity community had already started to do: work, transportation, housing, healthcare, and social connections, to name a few. People are asking the questions we've been asking. How will work change? How will education have to change? How should communities and countries help people live securely? And how will businesses integrate these changes and opportunities into their strategy? People are talking about many of the issues we have too long ignored: caregiving, end of life, working longer, and working remotely. Living and dying with dignity has become a national conversation, and one that should influence how you think about the longevity customer you want to help. Companies should be investing in dignity. While painful at times, these conversations are critical. Innovations created during the pandemic will be integrated more permanently. Stores created shopping hours for those over 60. New startups emerged to help provide food and tech support to the aging population. Telehealth was meaningfully integrated into healthcare delivery and is opening up many new business opportunities. Finally, culturally, we came to recognize the contributions of older adults and the value they bring to society, both in times of crisis and in prosperity. This value was most eloquently illustrated during the pandemic by leaders such as Anthony Fauci and retired nurses and doctors, all of whom came to the front lines and contributed in essential ways. So, my pre-pandemic optimism remains in the following sections, albeit in a way that acknowledges the challenges ahead given the world-shaking events of 2020 and 2021. The $22 trillion opportunity is still there. This book will help you, the companies, innovators, marketers, entrepreneurs, investors, and older adults, reimagine the opportunities and implications presented by the new longevity. It aims to help you understand and serve people over 60, the fastest-growing, most dynamic market in the world. I've organized the book into 2 parts. Part 1 focuses on understanding longevity and shifting your mindset to thinking about older adults by the stage of life they're in, not by the number that tells you how old they are. Chapter 1 sets the table by explaining changing demographics and the distinction between lifespan, an age concept, and health span, a stage concept. Chapter 2 resets the discussion around longevity by reinventing the language around it.